You know, some guys are going to click off right now, and that's exactly why they're going to stay stuck. Because what I'm about to say, nobody else has the balls to say it out loud. You see, there are reasons, good reasons, to use hookers, escorts, companions, sugar babies. There are good reasons to pay for sex. And there's one massive reason why you should absolutely not. Not because of morals, not because of health, because of something way worse than that. Something that quietly destroys the one thing that you can never get back. And no, gentlemen, I'm not talking about your pride here. I'm not talking about your dignity, all right? It is something way deeper than any of that. And when I tell you what it is going to hit you hard. Now, this might just be the most important video that you ever watch, because I'm going to show you the one truth about hookers that no one else will tell you, and why understanding this one single thing is the key to getting with the women that you actually want. Hey, I'm Jesse Keaton. I've been coaching men for over 20 years now, helping you older guys attract stunning, beautiful, younger girlfriends. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to rebuild your confidence, rebuild your drive, rebuild your presence, so women cannot fake attraction around you anymore. They will feel that deep in their gut. You'll go from paying for this fake affection with worn out women to having real, beautiful girlfriends who chase you, who go after you, who crave you. Having the kind of connection that feels alive, that feels electric and is real. With no more money, no more pretending, even if you're older. Even if you do have that dad bod. So let's be real here for a second, guys. There are some upsides to paying for sex and using hookers. And on paper, these upsides sound pretty damn good, right? You got less drama, no rejections, you're not playing games, you don't have to take her out on this dinner date, there's no endless texting back and forth, you don't have to worry about saying the wrong thing or being labeled as creepy. You're in control. When, where, and how it happens. Not only that, but the whole experience is predictable, more or less. It's fast. You call the shots. You get variety of new faces and new bodies and new energy every single time. It almost feels like you've optimized your sex life the same way you've optimized your career or your business, where you pay and you get the result. You get all the upsides of beautiful women without being on that roller coaster of highs and lows. She shows up, beautiful, warm, ready, and for a couple of hours you feel wanted again. Sort of gives you that same dopamine rush to your brain as closing the big deal or hitting the big sale or winning big at work. That hit of, yeah, I still got it. And since you're paying her to show interest, you get the attention. You get the validation, and you get that ego pump on top of the sex. And for older guys who have started to feel invisible to women, it's an easy way to feel seen again. Without the drama, no strings attached, you pay her to leave, and your lifestyle stays clean. So honestly, who could argue with any of that? Now, most of the arguments that people are gonna throw at you for not paying for sex, for not using hookers, they're weak. They're emotional arguments. And they usually say more about their insecurities than yours. And of course, women are gonna shame you nonstop, again and again, until you feel like the victim. Because deep down, women know this truth, that the second that men stop needing their approval or sex from them, women's power starts to crumble away. A woman's ultimate leverage in the sexual marketplace has always been her ability to say no to men, to make you chase after her, to make you simp for her, to make you prove yourself to her. But when a man can finally meet his sexual needs without jumping through the hoops of trying to wife her up, without begging for sex from her, without playing these stupid dating games, that terrifies women, because it strips women away of their unfair advantage, which is control over your time, control over your money, and most importantly, control over your attention. And without that control, their power crumbles away. It disappears. So of course, yes, women are going to shame you mercilessly. They will mock you. They will make you feel guilty for paying for sex. Not because it's in your best interest, but because it's in their best interest. Because look, if every man out there stopped feeling guilty about his sexuality for once and could just go out there and get sex anytime he wanted, most women would actually have to step up. develop some actual warmth, develop their personality, their femininity, their charm, actually stay thin. And most women just don't want to do that. So women don't use logical arguments against you, they guilt you. They throw shame at you like it is holy water, not to save you, but to keep you in line. Because if men ever realize that their sexual power is just as valuable as women's, if men realize that women need them just as much, then the whole illusion breaks. The whole game flips on its head. And that's why, when it comes to paying for sex at least, women will mercilessly shame you. They will attack you. They will paint you as the bad guy, paint you as the villain, because it is the weapon in their toolbox for keeping you in line. But let's just forget how women are going to judge you for the moment. That's not important right now. Let's just compare what's great about using hookers to what it actually takes to earn real attraction from real women. Okay, so to earn real attraction from real women, to become that guy, that one guy that women light up around like a Christmas tree, you've got to build yourself up, guys. You've got to develop charisma. You got to learn how to carry a conversation. You got to sharpen up your look, improve your presence, improve your energy. You've got to become that man who can walk up to any woman, anywhere, and spark something real with her. And that takes time. It takes reps to learn that. It takes courage and balls to learn that. And it's not all fun and dopamine hits along the way. Sometimes it can feel uncomfortable. It stretches you. It forces you to grow. The fucked up part is you might actually feel like you're getting worse at first, where you keep messing up. You take some rejections. You take your hits. You take your lumps. You'll start to wonder if you're just wasting your time. And that's kind of how every new skill works, where you take your lumps before you get better with it. Even with a coach like myself guiding you step by step. And make no mistake about it, that's exactly what I do. I guide you step by step to getting the girl that you want. Even with a coach like myself on your side, look, I'm going to be honest with you. It still takes months to really internalize this, to really develop that magnetic presence that women feel before you even say a word to her. It's a lot like learning how to play an instrument. You don't master playing the guitar overnight. No, you grind through the ugly phase before it starts to sound good and you can start playing some seductive songs. And that's essentially the trade-off here. You can take the long road of growth, discipline, becoming that rare man who naturally attracts real women, or you can hit a couple buttons on your phone, maybe make a phone call, pay a fee, and you got that stranger showing up at your door to play pretend for a couple of hours. So when you line those two paths up next to each other, it looks kind of obvious, right? On the one side, months of grinding away, building real confidence, taking your lumps, putting in the work to become the kind of man that you actually want to be and getting the women that you actually want. And on the other hand, you just pay the girl. You skip the whole struggle and you get exactly what you want tonight, which kind of seems like the smarter move if we're going to be honest. But here is the catch. There is one thing about hookers, one thing about paid sex that makes the whole deal go from shortcut to total self-destruction. One thing that quietly destroys something inside of you, something that you can never get back. And again, it's not what you think. I'm not talking about pride here. I'm not talking about morals. This is something way deeper than any of that. And once you understand this one thing, you are never going to look at paid sex in the same way again. So let's just break this down on a biological level for a second. Dopamine. Dopamine, that's your brain's anticipation chemical. It's what fires off when you're expecting a reward. Dopamine is what drives hunger, ambition, masculine pursuit, and the thrill of the chase. Now imagine a drug dealer comes along and he gives you that first hit of the drug for free. And you feel amazing. Wow, this is incredible. All that pleasure, that huge dopamine hit with zero effort, zero sacrifice, zero grind. So what tends to happen? You just skip the gym. You skip the grind, you skip the chase. Why? Because your brain already got the reward with no effort, with no sacrifice. And that's exactly what paying for sex does. It's instant gratification. It's instant dopamine on demand at the press of a button. It's pleasure with no effort, no grind, no sacrifice. Whereas when you're dating real women in the real world, your dopamine system fires off more naturally because you've got to earn every moment of that. When that girl laughs at your joke, when you catch that spark in her eyes, when she texts you back, when you finally kiss her, that's when you should be getting those dopamine hits. That's the real masculine dopamine loop. You put in effort, you put in sacrifice, you create tension with the girl, you risk things, and then you get the reward. And that's essentially how it's always been. That's how we've evolved as a species, where you put in the hard effort and then you got the reward. But when you bypass that system, the entire structure of your motivation begins to break. So here's where things really start to break. When you pay for sex, when that woman shows up at your door, you completely delete the whole risk and reward cycle. There's no anticipation, no buildup, no tension, no chance of things going sideways. You simply skip all the steps that made that reward mean something, and you jump straight into the instant gratification. You jump straight into the payoff. So your brain starts to think, cool, man, I can get this dopamine hit, I can get this spike with absolutely zero effort. Think about it. Instead of working on yourself real hard, building attraction with real women, becoming the kind of man that women actually want, you can just press a couple buttons on your phone, make a quick phone call, and that woman appears right in front of you. And your brain learns real fast. Why go hunting for it when I could just go to the meat store and buy it? You get the same rush, don't you? You get the same dopamine hit, the same chemical high, but without having to earn it. And that's the exact same pattern that hooks guys onto porn, alcohol, video games, gambling, all the stuff that gives you maximum pleasure, maximum dopamine hits straight to your brain for minimum effort, where you feel like a winner. So here's the real cost of paying for sex, the part that nobody talks about. When you make it that easy for yourself, when you make it that easy to get laid, it just kills your ability to do anything hard anymore. It just absolutely butchers it. Over the last 20 years, I've coached many men who have gone down that path. And they come to me wanting a real girlfriend, wanting real connection, wanting real love. But they have absolutely fried their own dopamine system. Here's exactly what happens. Their brain, over time, learns that attention and validation can be bought from women. Not earned, but bought. So when a real woman shows interest in them, they freeze up. Because deep down, they've lost that muscle for taking risk. They've conditioned themselves to expect big rewards for zero effort. Right? Why bother learning how to lead a conversation or build tension with a woman or flirt with her or physically escalate when you can simply press a couple buttons on your phone and have the same exact experience delivered right to your door? And that's instant gratification, gentlemen. It is pure dopamine being injected right into your brain. And make no mistake about it, it is pure poison for you. Pure poison. It looks like confidence. In the moment, it feels kind of like having power, but it is fake muscle. The second you stop injecting that, everything is going to collapse and you are left weaker than before. And the day that a real woman, a beautiful woman that you might want to wife up or make your girlfriend, looks at you and you just blank out, you freeze up, that's when you realize what's actually gone, what you've actually lost. It's not your money you've lost. It's not your looks. It's your edge. Because you've trained your brain to link this massive laziness to getting massive rewards. To believe that being comfortable is the fastest way to win and get laid. And that's like feeding your brain pure sexual heroin. And every hit of that drug makes it harder to go back to real life, to go back to making real effort. Because once your brain learns that it can get the same dopamine spike without taking any risk, then your effort to flirt with women, to chase women, to win with women dies off completely. And when that happens, you lose that inner fire that makes you a man. Here is the brutal truth. Hookers, paying for sex, just like porn, tricks your brain into thinking you are winning, but you're actually not. You're not leveling up. You've just stopped playing the game. You still get all the surface level signals of success, like attention and sex and validation from these women, but none of the real growth that turns you into a stronger, better man. You think that you're buying pleasure, but what you're really buying is weakness. Every time you pay for a girl, every time you pay for sex, you are teaching your brain, I'm not good enough to win on my own. And the more you repeat that pattern, the more it becomes true. Because every single time you get softer, every single time you get weaker, you become less magnetic and you become less interesting to real women. I personally know guys that live that lifestyle and they all follow the same exact pattern. Over time, they get out of shape, they begin to lose their spark, they become socially dull, weird quirks in their personality start bubbling up to the surface, and they slow down mentally, they slow down physically and emotionally. That dominance that they once had in their youth, that masculine raw drive, it fades. Because dominance comes from pursuit and mastery. And when you remove both of those things, now you just breed passive entitlement, the opposite of masculine energy. And look, this all happens very quietly. It's not some one big terrible event. But that's precisely why it's so seductive, so dangerous, because you don't even notice it at first. These guys, they stop getting real feedback from real women, so they never sharpen themselves. They never sharpen up. It's kind of like a dictator who's surrounding himself with a bunch of yes men who tell him what he wants to hear. And he gets softer with time, he gets weaker, he gets more delusional by the day. And that's precisely what happens when you surround yourself with yes women, just like a dictator. Yes women who tell you exactly what you want to hear. Paying for sex feels like you're winning, but it's actually quitting. It is comfort disguised as victory. And that comfort day by day eats away at your masculine edge. Because once you start worshiping this easy comfort, once you make this easy comfort your God, that's when you lose the fire that makes you dangerous, magnetic, sexy, and alive to real women. Now you might be thinking to yourself, come on, Jesse, don't make such a big deal out of this. It's not that deep. I'll use hookers, I'll pay for sex for a couple of years, and then when I'm ready, then I'll focus on finding myself a real girlfriend. Well, look, gentlemen, it does not work like that. Once you go down that road, it's a very slippery slope. And the longer you stay down there, the steeper that slope is going to get. Every month that goes on by, every year that goes on by where you keep paying for sex, that hole just gets deeper and deeper. Where you're not just getting older, you're getting softer, you're getting duller, you're becoming more and more invisible to women. So there's no version of, well, I'll just do it for a couple of years and then I'll quit. Because the men that I know who go down that road, almost none of them quit. Because once your brain links having sex with a monetary transaction and not real connection with real women, real dating starts to feel real damn slow. Starts to feel awkward, starts to feel unrewarding, inefficient. Because every hit of easy dopamine, that instant gratification, cements the habit even deeper. So a year later, you're going to be more addicted to the easy gratification, more addicted to the comfort. And you're older now. A year later, you're less sharp, mentally, physically, and socially. And now imagine a year or 2 or 3 pass by, the idea of walking up to a real woman will just feel harder than ever. So saying, well, I'll just quit later, is kind of like saying, look, I'm going to do heroin for a year or 2, and I'll just stop when I'm ready. But it does not work like that. If you don't have the discipline to learn how to build real attraction with real women right now, to build those skills while you still got that edge, it's not going to magically get easier for you later on. And I have just seen the same pattern over and over again. Even the high-level, successful men who know that this is wrecking them, they cannot walk away from it. They do end up getting girlfriends or wives, but they end up settling with women that are far below their potential of what they could be getting. because they lost the fire that once gave them charisma and swagger. So here's what I really love about pickup. What I really love about the game, about learning how to walk up to women you see in your everyday life and sparking something real with her. What game does is it keeps you sharp. It's not just about meeting women. It's like extreme self-therapy. A self-therapy that burns away all your flaws, burns away your weird habits, burns away the rough edges. Game keeps your sword sharp. Because through game, you learn how to speak with power. You learn how to project your voice, how to physically lead a woman and make her feel safe and turned on at the same time. You learn how to build tension with women, how to flirt, how to tease, how to take women on this emotional roller coaster ride that she will never forget. You learn how to dress better, how to carry yourself better, how to command a room. You forge yourself through effort and trial, burning away every insecurity, every bit of mental trash that is holding you back. That is what game gives you. It is the ultimate form of self-improvement. It forces you to become the most magnetic, grounded, best version of yourself. And if you never walk through that fire, if you just stay spoiled through the instant gratification, it will catch up with you. If you pay for sex, you will get lazy. You will become too comfortable. You will stay soft. And you're going to start building up these tiny, unattractive habits that maybe you don't even notice, but women will pick up on. And trust me, women will punish you for that. They are going to sense that you're insecure, that you've got these weird little things going on before you even open your mouth. Women are bloodhounds for sniffing that out. Now, you might still date regular, normal women. I'm not saying you're not. But it's not going to be with the women that you really want, okay? You're going to be dating way below your pay grade, way below your best potential. You're either going to date physically unattractive women, or you're going to date beautiful women, but beautiful women that come along with emotional chaos, women that are manipulative, women that are toxic, women that are gold diggers. Because deep down, you won't have the presence, you won't have the strength or the masculine polarity to draw in the truly high quality women. Look, guys, you get what you earn. And if you don't put in the work, if you don't sharpen the knife, you don't deserve better. So every man out there has got two choices. You can either chase the easy, cheap dopamine hit, or you can earn the real thing. One path makes you very soft. The other path makes you a powerful, attractive man. So you got to ask yourself, which side of that line do you want to stand on? I have coached many powerful, successful men worth 7 figures. Men who can close million-dollar deals without even blinking and yet can't even hold eye contact with a barista at a coffee shop. Why? Because the reward circuits are completely fried. Their dopamine has been shot to the moon. They've been chasing fake wins for so long they don't know how to win in the real world anymore. Well, that's where I come in. One of my students, mid-50s, divorced, admitted that he'd spent over $100,000 on escorts. And the first week with me, he could barely even ask a woman for directions. Just 3 months later, he was dating this beautiful 29-year-old down-to-earth fitness instructor. That's the difference between trying to buy confidence or the feeling of confidence and actually becoming confident. Hey, I'm Jesse Keaton. I've been coaching men like yourself for over 20 years now, helping men rebuild their edge and attract the women that they once thought were out of reach. I created something here that rewires the systems and beliefs holding you back. It's called Conversion Conversations. And it's not pickup lines, gentlemen. It's not pretending to be someone you're not. It's a method that teaches you how to talk to women in a way that instantly hooks into their emotions, builds real sexual chemistry with them, and turns that quick chat into an effortless, fun date. Over the span of a couple of months, we rebuild your masculine energy from the inside out. So your dopamine starts working for you and not against you. So if you're over 30 and you feel invisible to the women that you actually want, this right here, right now, is your wake-up call. Because you cannot buy attraction from women. You have to become the attractive man they actually want. So this is what I've done for you. I put a link down in the description below. Click on that link, You're going to see a short application there. Fill it out, and let's hop on a free strategy call together to see if rebuilding your edge, 10xing your results, and making the women chase you is the right move in your situation. So once you're off that hamster wheel of paying for women, what do you actually say to a beautiful woman to get her chasing after you? Well, that's precisely why you want to watch this video next. This is the one conversation hack that makes beautiful women break all of their own rules, where they'll date the older guy. They'll date the guy with the dad bod. This is how to twist her mundane, boring conversation into pure sexual obsession using what I call filters. And I go through each filter and show you when to use them and how to use them. So go watch that video right now.